Are you Weast?
That part. No. Wait, what?
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to an interesting discussion sometimes. I'm here today with the regular boys. That's Christian, Haran, Harsha, and we're actually joined by a special guest today. His name is Kunal. He went to UPenn. I know he works at Citadel Securities now. He's new to living in New York. I'll let you introduce yourself further, Kunal. What's up? How are you doing?
I'm good. There's actually a distinction between Citadel and Citadel Securities, but I don't really want to get into it.
Touchy subject.
It's really not. But actually, when all that Robinhood stuff was happening, a lot of people got confused between what Citadel was and what Citadel Securities was. But I won't be taking a side in that because I think that's probably not something I should be doing. But yeah, I went to UPenn. I'm in New York now. I had a small stint in Chicago, but I've been here since October. I'm trying to finally settle down and find a place. And yeah, that is what I'm doing now.
Kunal has his own podcast too.
We always forget to give the guests podcast.
No, two guests in a row have their own podcasts. Kunal, you and your sister have a podcast, right?
Yeah, that's right. We have a podcast called Cutting Chai. It's a lot more sporadic than yours. It's not very scheduled because we just kind of do it whenever we feel like it. But it's basically we get recipes, really simple recipes that you can make at home for drinks or snacks or anything like that. Obviously, the first one we did was chai, the chai that we have at home with our family. And we make that on the podcast and describe how we're going to make it. And then we also answer questions that people just submit through a Google form. It's just an advice kind of section of our podcast. So yeah, we go back and forth between making it throughout, rating the food that we eat, and then also asking questions, which always seem to be relationship questions for some reason.
Yeah, you get hella relationship questions. I was about to ask you this because I listened to one episode and they were asking you guys about engagement and fiance related stuff, and I was like,
I don't know anything about that stuff, but I'll tell you what I think about it. But one of our family friends' mom listened to a bunch of the podcasts, and then she texted us and she was like, "Why are you giving advice on this? Because you don't know anything."
Yeah,
and I was like, everyone needs to calm down. This is a quarantine podcast that we started just to have fun, and you're freaking out because we're not engaged. Yeah, okay.
You need to obviously have that auntie as a special guest.
Yeah,
talk it out.
She'd just be roasting us the entire time, which might be content that people want to hear, honestly. But yeah, that's we started it like you guys did kind of during quarantine, and me and my sister were together, and we both are a pretty big fan of podcasts. I remember I started listening to my first couple of podcasts when I was in maybe my junior or senior of high school. When I was driving to school, I would listen to Matthew Berry's fantasy football podcast and
a classic, a staple.
And
Jake and Amir.
I don't know if you guys have heard Jake and Amir. Yeah, Jake and Amir from College Humor started a podcast. And so I would just listen to that on the way to driving because I like listening to music, but I had this is kind of tangential, but I had a Volvo S80 and it was really hard for me to change songs when I wanted to in the car because it didn't have a MP3 player. It was an old Volvo S80 where I had the cassette wired to my phone. So it was easiest to just play something and just let it run the whole ride instead of trying to go through my playlists or listen to Hot 99.5 all the time.
Oh, God.
So yeah, that's kind of how I got into podcasts. And so me and my sister used to listen to a lot of podcasts and we were we should just do something like this.
Christian, is that the Volvo you have?
Yeah, I think so. The one I had. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
It died pretty much because once I came home, I didn't have any reason to drive, right? So I don't know. It just first the battery shit itself, and then I don't know. The car just became
It was also on its like last legs.
I mean,
like,
yeah,
at
it had
college,
like
too.
240,000 miles on it, so it was definitely worth its while. But
Yeah, the same exact thing happened to me. Like we had maybe like in 2007 or 2008.
Yeah.
So I was never using it, obviously, when I
Right.
left for college, and no one was really touching it during COVID. And then I think someone donated it without telling me, even though it was technically like my car, or I guess it was the third car of the family, but
yeah,
it just got shipped off because the same thing was happening. Like you would be driving it and then the volume would randomly start to go up and up while like nobody was touching the volume.
That sounds like fucking Bumblebee and like Transformers. Like, just controlling.
Yeah, so we also had to get rid of ours. But I love my Volvo.
yeah.
don't
No,
know.
I hated it at first because I was used to driving a small car, but I got used to it over time because the thing was just a tank, bro. Like that thing. One time I drove from home from Massachusetts to Tech in a blizzard, and
Wow.
that thing just tanked through Philadelphia or Pennsylvania snowstorms, bro. Like 78 and 81, never seen shit like that before. I swear to God.
Yeah, dude, it was a solid car. And Volvos are kind of a luxury car, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it was really smooth, but yeah, mine was hella old.
One thing that we also forgot to mention is that Haran and Kunal have known each other for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
Haran,
Significant amount of
I
time.
heard that you absolutely despised Kunal when you first laid eyes on him. And I thought that was a little racist, so I want you to explain yourself.
How would that be racist?
Dude, I remember I walked in. I remember the first time I saw Haran, I like walked into my percussion class in 7th grade at Longfellow Middle School, and I was like, who made this carbon copy of him and put him in the class? I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, because like me and Kunal were like one of the. I think there's like at least. I think there's only like 4 Indian guys in our Longfellow class, or maybe like 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, like I made the mistake. So like I met Kunal like in the first day, like at percussion, and I think we had math together as well. And like when I came home, I told my parents like, oh yeah, it's another Indian guy named Kunal and stuff. And then like after I told them there's another Indian guy, like of course like the classic Indian parent thing is to like make the comparisons all the time, right? So then like I wouldn't stop hearing about Kunal, and like they would keep on asking me about Kunal, and I was like, God, like this is so fucking annoying. I shouldn't have said anything. And then I feel like I let that like. I guess I let that get to my head, and then like I was also just like kind of just like I don't know if I was jealous. Maybe I was jealous a little bit too, because like
It's
Kunal was
crazy
like
how I
Kunal
just
was like
instill
look, I
fear in
went
people.
He's living rent free in your mind.
well because I went to Longfellow while Kunal so when Kunal went to Longfellow, he went to the elementary school that fed into that middle school, so like he knew a lot of people going in. But I went to a different elementary school in Fairfax, so when I moved to McLean, I didn't know anyone going into Longfellow. So like he just like he had a lot more. He had a lot more.
Sad.
It was not sad. Like he just had a lot more friends than I did at the time. So I was like,
okay.
I was like, damn,
It's
like
like
I don't know anyone.
Yeah, it gets
I mean,
way
I guess.
sadder though. What about that girl?
Yeah, and then
Damn, bro. I didn't realize you were getting deep like 10 minutes in.
No,
and then also the first day of school, like on that bus ride.
Oh no.
knows what's
I
coming.
really hope no one elder to me listens to this. 'Cause
Wait,
they're
what?
gonna whoop my ass if they hear about this.
What do you mean, bro? We're sending this podcast to the auntie.
Yeah, Haran has my mom's number on speed dial. Just gonna send this.
I mean,
right
we're not
over.
gonna say no names, but anyway, I was sitting on the bus first day, and this white girl came onto the bus, and then she sat next to me, and I didn't know who she was, but I was like, oh, she's pretty attractive, like yeah. So I guess I had like a little crush, but like I didn't really know her, so it wasn't that deep. And then I walk into percussion, and Kunal was sitting next to her in percussion, and then I was like, wait, what? I was like, they know each other, and then well yeah, like he was good friends with her, and then I mean I don't know if you
I don't know if we were really like good. Like I don't know if we were good friends walking into that class. But I had a pretty similar idea to you where I was like, we'll be good friends by the end of this class.
gotta work that magic,
It was crazy because like we went to the same elementary school, me and this girl. Let's say her name is Maddie.
Maryland. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we had like met a couple, like we had the same math class or something, and I remember one of the first things she said to me, I used to wear like, you know how all brown kids have a wife beater? Like, or I don't know if all brown kids do, but like, I remember my mom always used to make me wear like an undershirt, and she would be like, if you don't wear it, you're going to get sick because your like chest isn't covered. And so you're going to catch a cold, right? So every day of elementary school, obviously I had this wife beater on. And then I was wearing like a collared shirt, and it was like kind of poking through. Like you could see that I was wearing
outline.
one.
Yeah.
And this girl, Maddie, was like, why are you wearing a training bra? And I was like, bro, this is the first interaction we have. And I'm like the token brown kid in the elementary school. And I was like, oh my God. But yeah, that's like how we met. And then, yeah, we eventually dated, but in middle school, which doesn't really mean anything.
I can't believe Haran missed out on that girl because he didn't wear a training bra.
Yeah, dude. Shut the fuck up. Clearly that's how, it works in middle school.
Yeah, exactly. Then we like continued playing percussion, and I feel like that turned around after like a year though. Like
it quickly turned around. Yeah.
In 8th grade, I remember like she wasn't in the class anymore. I don't know if this is related at all, but then we started becoming closer friends.
The barrier was gone.
Remove the weakest link.
Yeah, she was like, I don't want to play drums anymore. And then in 8th grade, it was just me, him, and some other guys. And then I think we started to get closer, and then we ended up going to the same high school, and like our moms met, and also Haran's sister is friends with one of my friends from kindergarten. And so, yeah, we just had a little family friend squad that ended up getting together, and we still are pretty tight.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
It's insane. It reminds me of like in those old Pokemon games when you like meet your rival in like your hometown. And it's just like a whole fucking story arc where you just battle against each other for like the whole game. Then you wind up becoming friends at the end.
I think Rivals is we didn't even just play drums together. Like we ended up on the same soccer team a couple of years later.
Yeah.
So
all right, so who's better?
At what? At drums, Kunal's the best. Kunal's the best drum player, for sure.
Relax.
It's a drummer first of all, but
yeah, I don't know why I said drum player. I'm an idiot. But anyway, percussion, like I didn't really play drums that much. I was more of like I played the timpani. I like the timpani a lot.
You came in with all that piano experience, so you were pretty good at like bells.
Yeah, the bells and stuff too. Yeah,
that stuff I didn't even touch. Like I came into percussion class. Yeah, Mr. Zimmerman would give me a keyboard instrument, and I'd be like, I'm not gonna do this.
I'm
this to somebody else.
Yeah,
Ron strikes me more as a glockenspiel kind of guy.
Yeah, that's exactly who he was. That's
or
exactly
just the dude in the corner just hits the triangle every like 2 minutes.
Dude, the funniest part is that
no, there was a guy.
There
was a guy who was the triangle guy, but it wasn't Haran.
Damn.
The funniest part was we in 8th grade, when me and Kunal were in band, our orchestra was like, going to like this really like they're going to perform at this really nice place in Atlanta because they got invited. Like they I think the year before to try it out so that the year after them could go to Atlanta, which is kind of fucked up if you think about it. But anyway, they were invited to go, and the director needed like 3 or 4 percussion kids to like help them with their set. And me, Kunal, like I think another guy were picked to go with them. But the funny part was that Kunal had to like play a whole drum set for like one song while me and this guy like literally just had to play like I had to play the tambourine, and the other guy had to play the triangle or something like that for like one song. Yeah. And it was like the easiest part I've ever had to do, to just go to Atlanta, stay at this nice hotel, and like go to like Coca-Cola factory and all that stuff.
Gig for you.
Yeah, it was a huge gig for us.
I mean, it was really fun for me too, but it was also like really stressful because it was just that one song was like all drums for some reason.
And he had like solos in that too. It was literally solos for like it was just Kunal you would hear like playing the drum.
Damn.
Yeah, that was actually low-key stressful now that I think about it. I remember I went up to we were about to go on stage, and I wasn't really nervous because I had no ties to this orchestra. Like, our ties were to band. Like,
so if
I
you
cared
bombed
more
in
about
that
the band.
Yeah,
and I was just like had no ties to it. But this was like also my first time wearing contacts, and I started wearing contacts also for that girl. I realize it now. I was like, I gotta stop wearing glasses. I look like a nerd. I need to like start wearing contacts. And so I was wearing contacts for like one of the first times. I mean, she wasn't there, but this was now a habit for me to wear contacts, and I wasn't used to it yet, so I was like crying and my eyes were red. And she was like, but the orchestra conductor was like, "Oh my God, are you nervous? Like, you can't be nervous." And I was like, "I'm not nervous. I'm blind. Like, I can't see."
I think that's worse.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, okay, like splash some water in your eyes," and I was like, "I'm gonna be fine." But yeah, it was pretty fun. Like there was like a ball afterwards with all the different schools that had come, and it was pretty fun. I remember someone like almost OD'd on 5-hour energies.
What?
It's just it's what you do in 8th grade because like there's no like code available.
I was like, that's such a middle school story.
But he was also like a music prodigy too now. So
Yeah, he goes to Juilliard for like 2 instruments. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, pretty insane.
So who was better at everything else?
Soccer, I would say we're pretty equivalent. Like we were always on the same teams.
Yeah, but we played like different positions anyway too, so it's hard to compare.
Yeah.
But I think Kunal was a better. Kunal had a really good shot on. Like he had really good shot power on him. But I got those thick thighs. But Haran, if you like watch some soccer players play, they're like really good at getting their body in between the ball and the person coming to like attack them. And Haran knew how to use his ass. He would always keep that ball. He'd always keep his ass between the ball and the opponent, which was like that's like my dad.
Really
my dad
quality.
taught me that really.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, because I just had like a big frame on me, so like. I think I was just like lanky, not like a huge guy, but I mean, like I could like shield the ball pretty well.
Yeah, you always kind of remind me of Paul Pogba. Not like you're not Paul Pogba. But like your play style is definitely like that.
Similar,
center mid kind of thing.
That's true.
That's going to be relatable to no people. Who are
yeah, no one's going to understand.
It'll be like, who is Paul Pogba? I only know LeBron and A-Rod.
How you feel about that, Harsha?
I know LeBron too.
Yeah, you know LeBron very well.
Harsha knows Pogba.
Yeah, I do. I'm hip.
Yeah.
Is it only because of betting and parlays?
No. From FIFA 15.
Oh, okay.
Are you a big sports bettor?
Not big, just
small.
Just a sports bettor, yeah. You know, I don't bet more than $1 on things.
I mean,
it depends how many times you've seen the other stuff. I don't win usually.
Yeah, you should probably stop putting money into that.
Yeah, just for context,
from a financial point of view.
For context, we have like this like twice a week NBA fantasy contest where like you get basically you pick a lineup of like, is it 8? How many players? 10?
9
players. And like whoever gets like the most points like out of like out of the group like wins like each contest. And so far we've probably had like 30 contests, maybe
32.
Okay, Harsha knows the exact number.
Who's counting?
32 contests, and Harsha's yet to win one. We only play in a group of like 6 people, but now it's like 5.
No, it was 7 then 6.
Okay, well,
but
I
who's
don't know
counting?
the numbers.
It's crazy.
Essentially, you would have thought Harsha would have won one by now, but
Yeah,
You're gonna win one.
How many?
You'll
are left?
definitely win one.
9.
9 are left.
Yes.
So you
They really?
How do you know that? How do you know
He's
that?
counting down every contest. He's like, all right.
I
get him
already
next
offered
time.
Harsha multiple times to like let me pick his lineup, but he said he won't let me do it.
What is your strategy when you pick your lineup? Not to get too deep into this, but I want to know where you're going wrong.
Clearly
I
everywhere.
think I just have bad luck. I think everything I've tried just doesn't work,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. And I don't do any research, I guess.
Start doing research, but you can get a win. That's literally how I do it. I literally just look up like who's the best value players for tonight, and then I get
You
like
can
some names
definitely
off that.
what Haran does is he sees who's injured and then he picks the entire team. He'll be like, oh, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are out, so I'm gonna pick the entire
Clippers
starting
lineup.
5 from the Clippers. And it usually works for him, so maybe you should try something like that.
You do a little bit of research.
If you haven't gotten a win by the last like match day, I want to set your lineup, and I'm not involved in this competition whatsoever, so I have no
You
say.
might have to-
I think the whole
you
thing
might
is
have to-
Harsha wants to win on his own accord. Like if someone wins for him, then he won't feel good about
he's
it.
had he'll have like 38 chances up to that point, and shit. So
You might have to do a naked lap if you don't win one.
Oh, we should do that. We should enforce that.
Ooh, we should have done that. We should have made a rule.
Why
before.
did Haran get so excited all of a sudden?
he's gonna make that drive just to watch that naked lap of Harsha.
Dude, I don't know. Before we started recording, Kunal said that he walks around naked in his apartment. So got me
I mean, he
amped
lives
up,
by
you know?
himself though.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
different.
That's a little
one time
different.
when I went to Chicago, I spent
Uh,
we spent one night. I spent one night sleeping in Kunal in the bed,
oh.
and I just didn't know Kunal like took off like so many layers before he went to go to bed, and I was like, when I woke up,
I just can't, dude.
I was
snake. What the fuck?
I was like, what happened?
I'm so hairy that like if at night it's an overload, dude. I just start getting so hot. Dude, Haran knows this. Actually, I remember one time in high school, Haran knew that I didn't like to we would play shirts and skins sometimes for JV or something. And Haran knew I didn't like to take off my shirt because I was like hairy and conscious about my body, which less so now, but I definitely was a lot then. And I was like supposed to be on skins, and Haran was like, "Don't worry about it, I'll be on skins." And I was like, "That's my boy." I was like, that's when I knew he was an OG.
I thought you were gonna say Haran like made sure you were on.
Yeah,
skins.
Yeah, me too.
He was.
Dude, I'm a nice
No,
guy. What do you mean?
I think a few years later, he might have done something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Or-
true.
or when I was in middle school.
I was beta back then, to be fair.
He was still trying to win you over as a friend from all the beef in middle school.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, there wasn't even any. I only found out about the beef after middle school.
It was like completely one-sided.
I was telling these guys before, but it was a completely one-sided beef, which is in my head.
Yeah, because I remember going home and being like, "Yo, I met this kid who was brown. It's crazy, right?" And my mom was like, "That's insane. Like, there's another brown kid in your percussion class."
Damn.
And then Ron just goes home and be like, "Oh, this fucker every day." Just being there.
Damn, man, you really messed up my mojo. You're spiritually hurting me.
I'm glad it worked out like that, though, because in that class, I became friends with this Mexican guy. He was super chill. He was also a big soccer fan. That class was actually hype. There's so many good people in that class.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of good souls.
Tell me about the bad people in that class, though.
Haran.
Maddie.
Oh, bad like that? Or?
Dude, don't talk shit about Maddie, dude. That's my ex,
I'm
bro.
not talking
Yeah,
shit.
dude.
I was saying she's bad. I was saying she's bad, bro.
Oh, I get it.
I didn't fuck with I won't say his name. Well, should I say his name? I don't know what we're gonna do here.
Oh, we can just name
I don't
him
even
after
know who you're
another
talking
state or
about.
something.
You know,
Oh yeah, I do. I
Yeah,
still
they're-
talk to him every so often.
Oh, hold on.
I
Shit
think-
talk him right now.
are you being
But
serious?
you're right. But he definitely, I mean, every so often, but like rarely, maybe once a year. But
Yeah, okay.
yeah, he definitely bullied us. I remember he used to like take the drumsticks, the A1s, the Vic Firth A1s.
Yeah.
And he would just smack people with them. That shit hurts. I remember he used to like hit my knuckles, and I'd be like, "Damn, that really hurts. I don't want him to do that anymore." But I wouldn't hit him back because I knew it hurt. So I was just like, "I'm not gonna do that." But
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was-
Christian smacks my butt with cooking utensils in the apartment.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, sometimes randomly.
You joined in.
Well, what do you mean I joined in, bro? What are you talking about?
No. So for context, I mean, this isn't gonna do me any
What
favors.
context can add to this, bro?
For
Like Harsha was like,
context,
Harsha was
no
like,
one
stick,
fly
he was
on
like,
his butt all
context,
the
Harsha
time.
was sticking it out.
For
I had to-
context, he deserved it. But no, it's not like I walked
Jeez.
around taking frying pans and like smacking him. You know, it was just like
Hey man, whatever you guys are into, you do it.
it was
I'm not judging you.
It was just a wooden spoon, I promise. Although those things, I know I would try to make it so that it didn't like leave a welt, but I made sure that he knew it happened. You know,
Right.
so every time he sat down, he would remember.
That's
I mean, I don't
crazy.
know what's less sus: Christian using a cooking utensil or Haran just using his hand.
What, bro? What are we doing here? What are we doing here,
Bro, what do you mean?
Bro, you were
Constantly, bro.
How should corroborate the story right now?
Yeah, Haran does not smack me with his bare hand.
No, he doesn't smack. He just scoops, you know?
What? Bro. Stop.
Harsha must be packing if Haran can scoop.
Well, Harsha would definitely pack it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the front end.
Yeah, that's not a question.
I'm
Speaking
excited
of
to listen
packing.
to this.
Speaking of packing, you know, in your wallet, you know, you pack some cash, and you know, we got to take an ad break, so we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to part 2 of Haran's therapy session. Haran, do you have any other stories about Kunal you'd like to vent out before we continue?
I got no more stories. Right now,
I'm sure they'll come up.
Yeah, I mean, if Kunal attacks me, then I'll attack him back, you know. But right now, it's peaceful.
Wow.
Dude, I never attack you, bro.
All right, well, now's
Yeah,
your
he
chance, you know. I'm just saying.
I'll think of something. But as of now, I got nothing.
Yeah, we're in a truce period.
Yeah, we're in a stalemate right now.
So, going back to your experience at Penn, you know, we talked to our friend Joyce a couple weeks ago, and she was talking to us about like her party life at Yale. So, how does it compare, do you think, at Penn?
Yeah, we actually have the same thing as her in that we have a Feb club, and we have like, I mean, we also only have it during senior year, and it's the same thing where it's like every night is it's not a party, but you know, there's some event.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a fact that party life at Penn is better than Yale. And pretty much every other Ivy, I think people would agree to that. Like, I remember when I came in to Penn the year before, 2 years before, it was like in the Playboy top 5 party schools.
Wow.
And I was like,
Word?
that makes no sense. But we have this thing called NSO when you first come in. It's like the new student orientation.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I walked into one of my first parties and there were like, this is going to sound really pretentious, but it is really pretentious. So that's just a fact. Like, there were just random ice sculptures that were like 8 feet tall and they were just like little slides, if you will. And people would just like pour alcohol at the top and someone would be sitting at the bottom, just like drinking all of it. And then there was like people lighting Grey Goose bottles on fire and then like pouring alcohol down it. And you would have to like sip out of a cup at the bottom. And I was like, this is kind of really insane. And I don't know if I'm ready for any of this. So yeah, it was like a little overwhelming at first, but there's definitely a pretty big party scene at Penn, and I think it's similar to what she was saying in her episode. Like, it's just kind of like a work hard, play hard thing. Where I don't know if we go hard on Wednesdays. I think Thursdays are big.
Yeah,
Thursdays are big, but I think Thursdays are big everywhere because a lot of people don't have class on Fridays in most colleges, especially when you get older. So yeah, we have like there was this thing called Magic Gardens that would happen a couple times a year where they would just rent out this massive like warehouse in the middle of I don't know if it was West Philly, but it was outside of the city enough where there was a lot of space. And then they would just like build a concert venue, kind of like have a rave with like a silent disco and all these different rooms. And then the next day, the entire place would be gone. It was really weird.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool, but it was always a lot. Like, people were always super, super messed up at those things. And then our spring fling also is usually pretty big. But yeah, it's definitely it's not a party school, but they definitely go hard over there. And I was partaking in it a significant amount during the year. And then afterwards, I was like, I should probably not be doing this 4 times in a week, and I should start focusing on why I'm here.
But I mean, you're doing a double major too, which we didn't mention yet, but Kunal did a double major.
Yeah, that was I started that my sophomore year, but I actually didn't end up, I was doing a double in CS in the engineering school, and then I was doing my business degree. And then I submatriculated into my master's in engineering and never finished my bachelor's in engineering, actually. Like,
what?
I just, because during my senior year, I was taking like 7 classes a semester or something
Oh my God.
sophomore, junior, and the beginning of senior year. And then I was like, I don't want to do this senior spring. I think I would have had to take 8 to finish all 3 of my degrees, but
Jesus.
I took like 4
Nice.
because I just didn't want to do I think in the CS industry, it doesn't matter really.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people in CS who don't have college degrees, it's like coding is something you can learn on your own. And I knew I was going to go into software. And I just didn't think it was worth it for me to like slave away like that, especially my senior spring. Looking back, I probably could have because COVID was half of it, and I could have just gone home and grinded it out and taken them all pass fail. Yeah. But yeah, it got kind of hectic, but it was also fun. I don't regret it either. I think a lot of people at Penn do dual degrees. Like that's a pretty common thing actually. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like a lot of people were partying while I was studying through Friday nights. Yeah. It was just like a lot of people were doing that / in college, I just cared about my grades less than I did in high school, which is another, like, I think pretty, in business, I think that you can't really do that, but I knew I was going to do software and they don't really care about your GPA as much in software, I think. So,
wait, did they care that much in business school?
I mean, at a lot of investment banks and man, we're really getting into this. Had a lot of investment banks and consulting firms. It's like pretty important that you put your GPA on your resume, and it's like above a 3.9 or something.
What?
Which is pretty high.
Above 3.9? Wow. What the?
I mean, people keep it really, really high, and I just wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't really interested in doing like IB. Yeah. So, Jesus. Yeah, that wasn't something I was going to do anyway. Not that I didn't have good grades. Yeah. But I definitely didn't have above a 3.9. Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself switching to IB? Because I know you work around like quite a few investment bankers at Citadel, right? So like I'm sure you've been experienced, like you've like seen how they operate and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, originally why I did the double major, I came in as an engineer, and then I did an internship, and I had done some software engineering before, and I decided that I didn't like it. And so I just thought doing the dual major, maybe I could do something in business like investment banking. I think it's not really something I would want to do because they work super long hours. It's just really, really strenuous, and that's not really the lifestyle I was looking for. And a lot of people only do it for a couple of years and then they move on to something. But I just heard a lot of horror stories. So that quickly became a choice that I wasn't going to choose. Right. But even at Citadel, like technically they're not investment bankers. They're like, Citadel is a hedge fund. So they are just like a different type of trader. Mm-hmm. They also work super intensely, but I think investment banking is a little bit different.
So outside of your work and the things you went to school for, we tried to pry this out of Haran, but Haran doesn't know anything about his friends, so we couldn't really get anything out of him. What else do you do, like, in your free time? Like, I know you play FIFA because we play club sometimes, and we talk a lot about FUT, and you're into soccer, obviously. But what else? Yeah. What else do you enjoy to do?
When I was in college, I was in a dance team. So I was dancing a lot, like probably 5 or 6 days a week. I was dancing for at least a couple hours, which looking back was insane how much I was dancing.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Quickly after college ended, I was like gaining weight really fast, and I was like, why am I gaining so much weight? And then I realized it was because I was dancing so much. I was just eating garbage in college. Like I would go to a Qdoba, and then there's my like for lunch, and then my next meal would be like Chipotle or something.
You just got the same meal 2 days in a row.
Or you know what I mean, like an pizza. Or like I would just order out and not even think about it and just eat the whole thing down. But I was dancing all the time. So, actually during Feb Club, I didn't get to enjoy a lot of the events because we were like competing at the same time. So I like drove to Ohio State for one of the weekends that they had, like one of the weekends is called Atlantic City for Feb Club, and they just take a bunch of buses and drive everyone from Philly to Atlantic City, and they just go
Holy
crazy,
shit.
and then they drive you back at like 8 a.m.
Wait, what the fuck?
And it's like, it's kind of trashy, so I didn't really care that much that I was missing it, because I know like no one remembers it, and Atlantic City is like not, I don't know, it doesn't entice me that much.
Right.
And one of the events we actually did was at the Philadelphia Museum of Art, which was pretty cool, and they like rented out one area of it. And actually Noah Centennial was there randomly. He like was friends with the DJ and was just like hanging out with people, which was really weird. But
that guy's sus, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. That guy's a fucking weirdo.
I agree. He was we like talked briefly, like a group of people were around him, and we talked briefly, and it was interesting. He was just like, he seemed like he was super high, but I don't think he was. I think that's just who he is. I think he was just like, or maybe he was, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so I was competing, so I like drove to Ohio State once, and then we like went to Penn State. But I mean, it was a huge part of my life, and it was really fun. But after it ended, I also was just like sore all the time, and like my back was hurting all the time. So after it ended, I was kind of like, okay, I don't know if I definitely haven't danced since that last competition, which is kind of crazy because I was doing it every day. But
Right.
I mean, you guys were winning comps too, like in your senior year, right? Like you guys were, like, you might have gone to more comps even after like the ones that, like, because the stuff ended because of COVID.
Yeah, if COVID didn't end, we probably would have gone to a couple more comps. But I was pretty burnt out. I was pretty burnt out from like driving to the different places.
Yeah.
Like, and every other weekend, and just practicing all the time. And I was a captain, so we had to like change choreo a lot, and like plan for the practices and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good thing I was taking 4 classes, because otherwise I would have been really,
I was gonna say
screwed.
it sounds like a lot.
Yo, did you sleep in college? You sleep
I definitely sleep a lot more now, but also I'm really bad at
sleeping.
Like, no, I'm really bad at living off of not enough sleep. Like, if I don't get 7 hours, I'm really, really groggy the next day. Actually, that's a lie. If I don't get like 8 hours, I'm really groggy the next day.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Because like when I saw Kanal recently. We went to like the beach for like a weekend essentially, and like
Atlantic City.
No, we didn't go to Atlantic City. No, we didn't go to Atlantic City.
Rehoboth.
You mean
Busted, don't
Rehoboth?
worry.
I think like of the 2 nights he was there, like I went to sleep before him, and then I woke up, and when I came to like the living room, he was already up before me. So I just feel like Kanal was like operating on like 5 hours of sleep, and I was just confused.
That weekend specifically, I was definitely operating on less sleep.
Yeah, but you seemed fine though. Like you didn't seem like in a like groggy or like in. Like,
I was fine only because I came on a Friday and I left on a Sunday. So like that Sunday when I left, I like drove to Philly and stopped there, and I was like dying on the way there. I was like, holy crap, I'm so tired. I like had it all crash at once. But yeah, I'm pretty bad at it. I think also now I've realized it, but I think it's also because at work it's so easy to get sleepy during work. Because in college you're kind of like running from thing to thing to thing. You're not really like sitting in the same place for a long time.
Right.
And when you have that physical activity, you get the blood flowing, and like your muscles release stuff into your blood, and then you're like, whatever, you're more active. But when you're just kind of sitting in the same place, even if you stand up and walk around, like I've been going into the office. So even if I stand up and walk around, it's like not the same. I'm not nearly as active as I was before. So I'll just get tired, and then I'll drink like 3 coffees at work, which is way too much. So I've been trying to wean myself off of it.
True.
But yeah, I mean, other than dance, recently I haven't been doing a whole lot. I've been watching a lot of soccer, like way too much soccer in my free time.
I feel that.
But because, I mean, New York was pretty much completely closed for a while. I mean, there were things to do. I was like walking in Central Park and trying to meet up with people safely, but there's only so much you can do in New York outside because there's like very limited green space, like outdoor space. So yeah, I've been I'm trying to think of some new hobbies to get into now.
Maybe you could get one of those like electronic drum sets. Have you ever seen those?
Yes, I actually almost got one of those. I have a real drum set at home that is slowly collecting dust, but at the time we were thinking of getting an electronic one because it's so much quieter, and I think my dad was gonna get really pissed off from me playing it. But, I mean, we ended up getting the regular one, and it's super loud.
Yeah.
Like you can hear it from outside of my house when I play, even though it's in the basement. But yeah, I was thinking about getting a drum pad and kind of getting back into it. Or I also play like the Indian drums, like the tabla. So I was thinking about bringing those back, but I haven't played those since like 6th grade, maybe 7th grade. It's been a really long time since I did that, but I feel like I should get back into it.
Just like trigger all of Haran's memories again.
I mean, Haran's pretty savage on the piano.
Yeah, but even then, I haven't gotten back into that, even though I said I would. I probably should.
Maddie is also pretty savage on the piano.
Oh, yeah. I've heard her play.
I don't get this euphemism.
No, she is.
No, she actually is.
Okay.
It's not a euphemism. She's actually insane.
It would be weird that I like backed it up then.
Hey man, you seem obsessed with her, man. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to do. I've also been, I want to like look into. I was thinking about looking into like a boxing gym or something.
Whoa.
Because when I was, how was it?
It was cool, but I didn't go back. I did it for a month on some winter break, I think 2 years ago. It's pretty fun. It's just really great exercise, and you don't have to go for that long to like feel it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was. I did taekwondo when I was growing up, and so I can fight a little bit. And then I took a UFC boxing class over the summer, like during my freshman year in college. So I can like kind of fight, and I kind of know some of the technique, and I kind of want to get into it. But I would be so intimidated to walk into a boxing gym in New York. I feel like someone would just see me and be like, "Hey, get in the ring," and then just. So I feel like that's something you got to ease into, or I got to find one that's like for beginners and like work my way up.
The Weenie Hut Jr.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm trying to develop some new hobbies, or even like I know there are some dance like studios in New York. There are like a bunch of them that do classes and all that kind of stuff, but they've obviously been closed for a while.
You'll see those like dance videos of people in LA or New York, and they always like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like where I don't know, like everyone's all ganged up together, and there's like the three people in the middle dancing, and they're all like just hyping each other up. Yeah. Those are fucking sick, dude. You should definitely do that. I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, those people are insane though. That's a level that I can't be.
Nah, you can just be in the background hyping them up.
Or maybe you could do like a parody and just like you just start dancing really poorly, and then everybody just starts hyping you up anyway. You know.
That's what TikTok.
That just sounds sad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
You're pretty much right though. Yeah.
I mean, TikTok has to get. I mean, I've seen some of them now. They're getting better, but some of them are so dumb.
I think
some
most of them
the dancing ones
dumb.
or like the humor, or which ones?
No, the dancing ones. I mean, some of them are good now. Like what they should do is like, it shouldn't be like the chest up. I feel like that's so boring. Mm-hmm. You know how like sometimes they film from the chest up and they're only like doing arm stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The ones that are always more entertaining are the ones that are like the whole body, and then like people are doing it together in sync. I feel like those are so much better. Mm-hmm. They got to do more of those. Pretty sick. Maybe me and Haran will start TikTok.
What?
Yeah. Just start dancing.
I'm good, dude. I'm fine.
Yeah, I can be like Maddie's boys.
Yeah.
Why am I getting roped into this, man? God damn.
It's a long lost reunion, you know.
I'm gonna send this podcast to her.
No, you won't.
I would, bro.
He will.
Yeah, I actually ran into her in Rehoboth with my family, which was really, really weird.
Oh, damn, Harad, you were so close.
No, not that same time that we met. Like a couple years before. But yeah, it's surprising how much we're talking about this girl.
All right, we can cut it here and come back after the ad break. All right, guys, welcome back to the final part. If you didn't hear it in the middle, but Haran, and actually all of us, pretty much just, I don't know,
It was the
destroyed
roast of Kanal on Comedy
Yeah.
Central.
You know, if this episode gets like 500 plays, we'll release what happened in the middle. But you know that won't happen. So long lost files. But one thing I wanted to bring up is we actually met Kunal in person once because our freshman year, Kunal came to Tech to visit, and I was wondering how much he remembered about us.
From then,
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude, I can't believe you came all the way to Tech for me, dude. That's crazy.
yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy, bro.
Wow.
You were just anyway.
Oh, you.
These are the things I've been putting up with for like 7 years. It's crazy. Wait, 7 years?
Like 2011,
No,
bro. It's been like,
That's
10 years.
wait, whoa,
It's
10
like-
years.
Yeah, it's like 10
Wow.
years.
No,
Oh my
so
god, 10-year
I thought-
anniversary.
Wow.
That's crazy. This is the 10-year anniversary episode?
Yeah. Watch it thrown.
I don't know how much. I mean, I obviously knew Harsha before, so
Right.
I remember watching Christian play basketball.
Oh.
That's what and I was with me and Haran's sister were just standing on the sidelines, just kind of
I
chilling.
do remember that now.
And I was like, "What is this guy hanging out with all these brown kids? He must feel really weird about that."
Somebody.
That's what I want to know. How did was that? Has that ever been on your mind?
Oh, I mean, like it's never not.
Or I guess day one it was on your mind.
I don't know. Like, I guess it is weird. I will acknowledge that, but it's not like
I don't know if
It
it's,
makes
I don't know
it
if
makes
it's
it
weird.
unique. It makes it unique, I think. I don't classify it as weird.
I mean, like
Yeah, I agree.
it appears weird. I guess is more.
I guess, yeah.
The we roll up to all the SIA parties and I'm there. It's like, yo, what the fuck is this? You know, like
What is that?
SIA is the Indian like
Association.
Oh,
students.
okay.
Yeah.
That must have been crazy.
yeah. I actually
Walking
had
into those.
I actually paid dues one year. Yeah.
That's crazy. We might have to convert you.
So
to
that's so funny.
Nah, dude, I paid
Yo,
the
he's close, though, at
Vietnamese
this
one
point.
twice. Yeah.
No, that's dope.
Yeah, it was definitely not worth it. Not because I didn't enjoy it. It's just like the group itself was really awful.
Dude, you can just leave us if you want, dude. Jesus.
No, I have business ties now. It's a lot more complicated.
To the whole Indian community.
Yeah.
You paid dues, bro.
Yeah, once. You know, dues, reparations, what are the difference, you know? But anyway,
Reparations.
Wow.
Where did that
Wow.
come from? Where did that come from?
I don't know.
I
man.
regret asking this question.
When I say I paid my dues, it sounds a lot different, you know?
That's
But-
crazy.
But
I think we all also eat. I remember eating in the dining hall,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I got like a chicken quesadilla or something,
Oh,
and that is the best food I've etten in any college ever.
Let's
Like,
go.
I was like, what is this? I was like, I didn't realize I entered a 3-star Michelin restaurant. It
yeah,
was,
3 stars fire. Yeah, we'll take that 100%.
it was great. I mean, Penn food literally gives people food poisoning. Like, it's not a joke. People have gotten food poisoning. Like, multiple people have gotten food poisoning from, like, my freshman year dining, and no one is on the dining plan that I know. I feel like after freshman year, it's just it's
Dude.
so bad, and it's so expensive.
It's crazy because when I went to Penn this one time, and I didn't get to meet Kunal that time, unfortunately. But like I was
It's
meeting
like
up-
it's so many years of like put into this friendship. He came to my college. He didn't even see me.
that's cap,
What
bro.
is
Because
that?
I got there and then Kunal had I think he had finals that for like the winter semester,
Yeah.
and he finished late, and like to get to us, you had to like pretty much like traveling across the city kind of thing, and it wasn't really worth it at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
anyway, when I went to Penn, I was like I was with my friend his sister was at law school at Penn, and yeah, like we went to like a dining place there. But I tried to tell Kunal what this place was, but I couldn't remember like what it was called. But that place was so good. Like they had like so many good like
But you were in
fusion
Philly.
foods.
Oh wait, you were in.
No, we were at Penn campus. Yeah. I don't know what dining hall it was though. Maybe it was like one of like the only like maybe that was the only good one there. I don't know based on how
Maybe.
you're describing it.
There's after I think my junior year, they introduced a new dining hall, and it was the only good one, and everyone went to that one.
Maybe
and
that's
all
one
the
I
other
went to.
ones got bobbed, but it was really really bad. Like yeah. That was one thing that I really hated at Penn. Like the food was so bad and like not nutritious, and it was bad.
But then
And
you're
they
also
should
in Philly
improve
too,
it.
though, right?
It was bad to a point where like most people, maybe this was a business plan on Penn's part, but like you have to buy the dining plan your freshman year, and then no one would use their swipes, and each swipe was like $16, and people would have like 100 swipes left over at the end because they would never use it because it was the
So
food was
bad.
that bad where they would just be like, I'm just going to eat somewhere else. And then they would just pocket all that cash. And then at the end, they would be like, oh, you can trade in your swipes for dining dollars, and you can use dining dollars at like more places, but it's separate from the swipes. And the dining dollars food is way better. And, but the conversion rate was like a swipe is $16 and you'll get $5 for each swipe or something. I was like, what is this? Like, why are you trying to steal all our money? We're already paying to go here. Like, and we already paid for the food plan.
It's just because they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to do anything about it.
Right.
And they'd always be like, oh, we're going to improve the food for next year. And it never, ever happened. But that's the end of my rant.
Would you say that's the worst part about Penn is the food?
It's
I hope
definitely up there. It's definitely up there. The worst parts? Maybe, I mean, there's obviously like, it's like competitive,
Right.
which is like, can get intense sometimes, especially in Wharton, like with the whole 3.9 thing where everybody wants to be an investment banker or consultant, it can get pretty competitive. But yeah, the food might have been the worst part, honestly.
I would hope so, because if you found something to top that, I would have been very concerned.
Yeah. I like, what I liked about Penn was that it was close to Philly, but also like Karan said, it wasn't in the city. Like if you want to go into the city, it's like 20 or 30 minutes walking maybe. And then to get to like to walk completely across the city, it's like over an hour. But you're still close enough to the city where you feel like you're part of Philly. Like you're in between Philly and West Philly.
Yeah.
So
Are you east?
that part. No. Wait, what? Did you say east? No, it's not east.
No, I didn't say east.
Oh,
You said,
wait, what
I
did you
said
say?
waste.
I said west.
East of West Philly? I guess yes.
No. He said.
What are
He said.
you asking me?
Oh my god.
I can't even explain what the fuck it was. You just said west, and he just said weast, like Patrick did in SpongeBob, for no
I
reason.
see, unrelated.
Are you so sidetracked?
To that I say noted.
Moving furthermore, I wish to say.
I don't even know what I was talking about. Yeah, okay. I liked Penn. That's my answer.
Dude, Harsha says like 5 things an episode. And one of them just pretty much just sidetracks the whole conversation.
First I thought you said yeast. Then I was like, oh, he said east. He misunderstood the directions that I was trying to say. And then you were like, no, I said weast. And I was like, of course he said weast. I should have known.
I'm laughing because the second time around, he said weast again, but I don't think you like internalized it. So you're like, yeah. Or like, I was like, he still doesn't understand.
Yeah, I was just like, sure. Yeah. So
Penn was
God, shambles.
yeah, it was just Penn is nice to be in because it's close to the city.
yeah.
But
We're very
the
jealous
food
of that.
Yeah, honestly.
I don't know, but I feel like tech has so many people. Like
It does, but
isn't there a community within it?
yeah, sort of, but like there's not a lot to do. Because even with like a ton of people, you still need, I don't know if you need like an infrastructure, but you still need like some sort of modernization of things to do. Like there's a bowling alley, a movie theater, which coincidentally are the same place. Just like once you're 21, or if you're cool and have a fake, I guess, there's like wineries and breweries and that kind of stuff. But
oh, that's cool.
I mean, there's a lot of nature stuff there, which is nice, which we didn't really take advantage of. But
I mean, honestly, like a big complaint that a lot of Penn people have, like when they get to their senior year, is that they don't take advantage of the city, because you still end up being on campus a lot. Like, because you have to cross the river to get into Philly, and no one really wants to do that often. There's like not a lot of reason to be in Philly. You probably only go into the city like once a month ish. It's kind of a commitment. But yeah, there was some times that I used to go into the city. Like I became a Sixers fan while I was there, because I'd never really been to any NBA games, but when I was there, they would like have free tickets every so often to like Sixers versus like the Pistons, and I'd be like, okay, whatever. If I get to see Simmons, then it's fine.
I mean, it's crazy because you went like during like their, like as they were ascending like in like the East, and like making like the playoffs, going to the Eastern Conference Finals and stuff. Like that's pretty cool to be there in the city during that time.
Yeah, one of my friends was performing during like one of their timeouts or something. Like sometimes the Penn dance groups will go there and perform during one of the timeouts, and so they had free tickets, and I was like, I'll be going to that. And it was like when Jimmy Butler had just joined the team, and cool. I was like, this squad is kind of getting crazy all of a sudden. Yeah, and so I went to watch that game, and it was pretty fun. But something weird about NBA games that I don't really like is like they play music while they're playing. Yeah. And there's like all these distractions going on, like the crowd chant coming through the speaker and all that stuff. And I was like, I'm trying to watch, and like all these other things are going on to like distract you from the game, kind of.
I fucking love it when it's like a close game, and like it'll be like a timeout, and then like an EDM song just like blasting throughout the stadium while like these coaches are trying to like make sure these players understand what the fuck they're trying to say. It's just so it sounds so counterproductive.
It's so different from soccer, because you're like quiet the entire half until I mean, not quiet, but like there's nothing going on in the speakers.
Yeah, it's just like the fans are the ones creating the atmosphere, not like these like artificial sounds. Yeah.
There's actually this like TikTok guy that I saw who's, I guess, the music person for the NBA games. I don't know what team he plays for, but they deadass like he's deadass playing the keyboard like actively. Like it's not like some shit that they just play.
Oh, like the shot clock ones.
Yeah. He like plays that every time, and he tries to like time it with the pace of the game, I guess. So I guess I mean, I don't know if it really seems like that when I'm watching a game. I mean, not that I watch so many games anyway, but like I feel like there's more to that job than I originally thought.
I didn't think it was live mixing. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty insane, actually. Damn, I just really went into that guy's job. I'm sorry to that guy, but honestly, I don't like it.
I think it's just a detail that you like overlook when you're not, when you don't see it or don't know that it's there, Like you just assume that it's all like technically organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when you watch NBA on TV, sometimes you like hear it in the background a little bit, but mostly it's like the commentators talking, so you don't really notice it. But yeah, I mean, like even in the NFL, they don't do that unless it's in between plays, right?
No, especially like now, like during, because like we've had like less crowds at like NBA games, like the sound mixing has been like all over the place. Like I'm pretty sure like when Doncic hit like that shot against the Clippers, like when he hit that, like there was like I'm pretty sure there was like loud ass music playing in the background. I wasn't sure if that was like fakes, like crowd music or crowd sound, or like I was actually playing when he like hit that shot. But you could like barely hear like Mike Breen's voice when he made the call, but. And especially now, the audio's been like so shit. Like when when Marv Albert's calling the game, like you literally hear like his deep breathing into the mic, and it's so uncomfortable. It's the worst. It's like hearing a podcast or something.
Bro, it's so disgusting. That one time when he just like, I don't want to recreate it because I don't want to have that very disgusting feeling, but you could hear, if you were wearing like earbuds or AirPods or something, you could like hear his tongue inside your ear.
Yeah,
it was the most disgusting
thing.
thing.
Really bad.
It was awful. But yeah,
Maybe
I noticed that too. What?
Pause.
I don't know. You and Haran
You guys
have
are gonna
some
have to
pretty
do an
crazy nights.
episode. I was about to say, you guys are gonna have to do an episode where you get deep dive into the little like sexual tensions you guys have because there's a lot that's coming out,
Dude, episode
and everyone's-
69 will be the kink episode. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's gonna be Christian doing ASMR into the mic.
Kunal,
Well,
you
I'm
just
sure
bring it out of
everybody-
us, man.
Yeah.
Just bring that energy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do.
Maybe
What can I say? I told you I instill fear in people.
we should have like a sexual like. This is gonna sound really mad. We should have like a
Careful. Careful with what you follow.
Yeah,
that
what's
up
your
with.
next word?
Yo, there's very high potential of you cutting out what I'm about to say. I don't think it's that bad, but like we should have like a sexual game show type episode where Kunal is like the host, and he asks us
What?
like
What kind
sexual,
of game show? Because
What
I
are
don't
the
want
ga-
to play
what do you mean by
Wipeout.
game
like
show?
trivia.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I don't know how that's gonna go though.
Tarun wants to play Twister. He wants to get crazy.
No, Kunal reads us random Urban Dictionary phrases and we have to guess a definition.
Ooh.
That's interesting. That's
Can you tell me the
interesting.
definition of ice blue mink?
I was about to say that. Don't look that up if you're at home.
but
It's
also
crazy that's a
anywhere
that's
you
a
are,
hook.
don't look it up.
yeah, that's crazy that's a hook to a Drake song that like I feel like a decent amount of people know.
Yeah, people
But-
just say it without even knowing what it means. You know, just like a
yeah,
lot
they're
of
like
words.
screaming it, and I'm like, simmer down, guys. I don't think you want to say that out loud.
Weast.
Stop.
My ribs actually started hurting because I was
I
laughing.
know, me too.
I broke Kunal when I said that.
I know.
You couldn't process it. All right, Haran, have you come up with an antagonizing story yet?
Dude, I actually got nothing, man.
I thought that was the
Share
first half
mine.
of this episode.
I feel like I don't know about like any like crazy Canal stories.
The only one I know is when we went to Senior Frogs, but I don't know if we should tell that on here.
But like nothing
Wait, you
crazy.
guys
It
went to
wasn't just like
Senior
it wasn't just
Frogs?
us. It wasn't just us two though. It was like a group of people.
Yeah, it was a squad, and we didn't really do anything. We weren't main characters in that.
Yeah, we were not.
Wait, like in Miami?
Except when we went on a cruise. All right, we should just tell this story. I
Yeah,
guess.
go for it.
We went on a cruise to the Bahamas, like with these family friends, after our senior of high school,
Yeah.
and it was just really. We stopped in the Bahamas. We docked. It was like you have like 6 hours on the island or whatever. I don't know how long you have, and then
Yeah.
the ship takes off again, which is like a very limited amount of time, but that's how it is. And so we got there, and I guess the kids were like, "Okay, we're gonna get drunk," and so we went on a beach, and it was super super hot.
Dude, it was
and
so hot, man. Oh my god.
it was so hot, so we were dehydrated. Also, we like didn't eat that much, and at this beach, it was like a party beach, obviously, and there was a little gazebo where this guy you could buy drinks. So obviously, a bunch of the kids had a lot of drinks there, and then one of the kids thought it was a good idea to go to the Senior Frogs in the Bahamas because it was on the way back to the ship. I mean, that's not the reason we went. We wanted to go to Senior Frogs.
Yeah, don't put it on one person.
It just happened to be on the way back to the ship. And so my dad and Haran's dad like chaperoned us to
Yeah.
this place because I think they knew that we were about to be way too drunk to get back to the ship. And so we went to the Senior Frogs, and all of us got this drink called the Frogbuster, which was
Oh.
like rum, tequila, vodka. It was like every alcohol known to man and like blue food coloring
Yeah.
or something, and like one other mixer. And so we all had that. We like had some shots. Somebody said it was their birthday, and somebody being me, and I said it was my birthday. And like they were just like pouring alcohol into our mouths or whatever. And so we got like schwasty, and then we somehow made it back onto the ship, and like basically half the crew like blacked out or whatever and didn't show up to the dinner. And then all the parents besides my dad and Haran's dad were like, where are all the kids?
Yeah.
Like on the ship at the dinner. You know how they have like a dinner where you dress up every evening or whatever? So like half the kids obviously weren't there. My sister was like dead asleep in her cabin, and I don't even know where half the other people were. And then I was like pretty drunk, and then you know how the waiters and waitresses start like dancing and they do a show, and like so the dancer came out within me, and so I was like starting to dance with all the waiters and waitresses, and my mom's like taking a video, and she's like, that's my son. And then all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, I'm like way too drunk. I was just like on the table just like with my head in my hands, and Haran was actually probably the most sober out of everyone.
No. So what happened? Like my side of the story was like when we got to the beach, I was like feeling dehydrated like immediately. So like I just had water. I was like, I'm not gonna drink alcohol right now. Like I know I'm gonna get fucked up if I drink alcohol right now. And also like up to that point, I think I was probably the least experienced with alcohol of the group. I think. So like I was taking my time, but then we went to Senior Frogs, like, you know what, the music started playing, and I was like, oh fuck it, I'll drink a Frogbusters. But like that's all, I think that's the only drink I had. I don't think I took any shots, so like I was pretty much fine when we got back on the boat. But one of the funny parts, when we got back on the boat, we like all the kids went into like a room where like half the kids were okay, half the kids weren't okay, and like basically the people that were okay were trying to like basically just telling all the kids like we gotta get our shit together because our parents about to see us soon, and if we don't get our shit together, they're gonna yell at us. So we're all kind of just like you're all just like yelling at each other. It got really toxic.
I'm so glad I wasn't one of the sober people, because I would have lost it. I would have been so pissed. Like, I would have been like, you guys need to get your shit together right now. But I wasn't, and I don't even remember going into that room. So
it was still a fun time.
That was a fun time, but I don't know if we need to recreate it. We still have shot glasses from that place, and I feel like I haven't really had tequila after that for some reason, because I don't know. I feel like I had a lot of it that day, and it really didn't suit me. And then I passed out after that dinner.
Yeah.
For like a couple hours, and then I had to rally because I knew I wanted to go to the hot tub later with all the kids. So that was pretty fun. Another dehydrating experience in the hot tub.
I thought you were going to say I passed out for a couple of days.
Yeah, he's never got the shit.
So I guess the Frogbuster really busted you.
Oh, yeah.
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 Definitely. It definitely did what it told us it was going to do.
No lie.
Any drink that mixes like 3 or more alcohols together should just not be so
offered.
Yeah. I feel like I can max do 2 alcohols within one night now. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if I do more than that, it gets a little bit too crazy, and none of them can be tequila. That can't be on the menu. Now me and Haran are pretty tame.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always been like quite tame.
I don't know. I've heard some stories about your birthday.
Okay, let's move on.
I'm sad I wasn't there for that.
I was about to say, I wish you were there, because you and Karkar would have just like absolutely shit talked Haran's. I think if you were there to also egg on, like
dude, I literally, dude.
Wait,
Haran would not be here.
Haran was there. Haran would not be here.
That's why.
We would have killed Haran that night.
Dude, that night, like when I was like sitting on my bed, like drunk as fuck, like Bob and Karkar were in the room with me, and like the music was playing outside, and like Karkar was like beating my head to the like the beat of the song, and I was like, can you stop? I was like telling him like, can you stop that? And then I couldn't really say my words properly, and then he was like, I was so fucking pissed, bro. Dude, I was like,
that is so savage.
I was so pissed, but I couldn't do anything about it.
I feel like I wouldn't have, at that point, if I saw that you were dying, I would have.
No, but then Karkar
really
was looking after me though. He was being a good guy, but he just pissed me off.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, if I was there before the fact, I definitely would have egged you on.
See, that's what I mean. Like, there was a point where Haran like was like vibing. You know, we had like a little pregame or something before. You know, we were all like feeling pretty good. And then the party came. You know, the first like. I don't know if I got my timing wrong, but first like hour and a half, like Haran was like doing good. And I feel like there may have been just like a period of like 45 minutes where everybody that stepped foot in our apartment like for each person that stepped foot in, like Juan did another shot. Like, I feel like I don't know how
that's
you,
when you know.
perfectly. I don't know how like your liver survived. Like,
Yeah, I took way too much alcohol that. No, but
I
actually,
mean-
like what the time that you said wasn't even like it wasn't even that long because I drank so much in like a short period of time.
that's what I mean. Like,
Because like, people rolled in like pretty
rapid
late,
fire.
and then like so then it was just like in the span of like 30 minutes, I took way too many like drinks or like shots of alcohol, and then I just died immediately. Like I think I was already dead by like midnight, and people only came to our place at like 11. So in the span of that hour,
Bro, we were
shit
also
just
planning
hit the
on
fan.
getting you downtown that night.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
I was still so.
Did
I'm
the
still
rest
so
of you
angry
go?
we didn't get that happen.
No, none of them were age. I was like of the boys. I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys call yourself the boys?
Yeah.
Do you refer to yourselves as
Only,
the
only
boys?
because
No, just,
like
like, on
the
this-
other
on this
people that
podcast.
like were like the people that lived below us were our friends that were all girls. So like we were the boys and they were the girls. But also it's just easier.
Yeah.
You guys really flex that creativity there. You guys will be known as the girls.
Very original.
Gene.
Oh, wait, we should talk about one more thing.
What?
A current event. We have a survivor on our hands here, guys.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. To getting past Haran's horrific near-death experience, let's move on to another near-death experience. Kunal, I heard that you are a living, breathing survivor of the Johnson & Johnson zombie vaccination.
Zombie.
That is very true. I got the Johnson & Johnson the day after I got I got it at like 9 p.m. on a Sunday, and the Monday after I was like knocked out at 12 p.m. I just took a fat nap and I had like fever and chills, but after that I was chilling. But yeah, after I found out the news that like it was causing blood clotting, I tweeted I need a step by step on how to uninstall the J&J because I mean, not that I don't think people like if you're listening and you have the option to get or I guess you don't have the option to get the J&J anymore, but if you have the option to get a vaccine, I think you should get a vaccine. It's like it's less than a 1 in a million chance in Johnson & Johnson that you get a blood clot. But yeah, I'm not that nervous about it. Also, I think like there's a lot of medication that people just take normally that can cause blood clots, like birth control and.
Well, I have a quick follow up. So then, if they recalled it, like, are you because you haven't had your second shot yet, or have you?
Johnson & Johnson's only
There's
one.
only one.
It's only one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
That's one
the
and done.
pro for it is that it's only one.
Yeah, it's one and done. But like Fauci was saying afterwards that if you'll see clotting symptoms from like 2 to 14 days after you get the vaccine.
Damn.
Which is the same timeline as the COVID quarantines, which is a little sus, but it's been more than 14 days for me, so I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah.
And also that chance compared to the chance of you getting COVID by walking around is like, I feel like it outweighs it. You know?
Yeah.
That's true.
And I'm sure the CDC will figure out a way to fix that. It's crazy because in Europe, like when they were releasing AstraZeneca, and I mean, they had a lot more cases of blood clotting, but that like completely ruined the vaccination rate for Europe. Like nobody was getting vaccinated after that because they were so scared about blood clotting, even if it wasn't AstraZeneca.
Right.
And now Europe is doing super, super badly. So my message as a guest on this is if you have the opportunity to get vaccinated, then you should get vaccinated if you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm still on the waiting list. You know,
Yeah. Is it open to everybody
not
where
yet.
you are?
On Monday, it should be quote unquote open to everybody, but don't think it's gonna happen for like a month or so. But
Oh, really? I mean,
Yeah.
in New York, it's been open to everybody for I think a week now, maybe more.
yeah, we've been pretty shit. But you know, I feel like a lot of places have been pretty shit. But
Yeah, I know Pennsylvania hasn't been great either,
damn,
but New York, and California get a lot of love because they're New York and California.
Yeah.
I think.
Bro, even where I used to live in New Hampshire, they're vaccinating out of state people. Like what? Like they got so many that they're just letting other people have them. What?
You go there.
Bro, if it wasn't like a fucking 7-hour drive to the place that like is doing most of them, I would. But 2 7-hour drives each way. When it could just
you can't
not
get
ideal.
Yeah, now that you can't get the J&J. If you could get the J&J, then I would say that's probably worth it.
Yeah, but especially, at least in Massachusetts, they don't tell you which one you're getting. Like, you don't have a choice until you get there. So
it's a roulette. They just kind of
honestly, it's really frustrating. Anyway, that's a good service tip. You know, everybody get your fucking shots, and you know, as we learned from Crazy Frog, get your fucking shots. So, we want to definitely thank Kunal for coming on. He's been a guest long in the making. Is there anything else you want to promote? Is there a place where people can find your podcast specifically?
Yeah.
What's it called? You said it was called Cutting Chai, right?
Yeah. I think most people listen to it on Spotify based on the analytics.
Oh, big analytics
guy. That, as in Anchor, just tells us what's happening.
Yeah. We're familiar.
Yeah, I think Spotify, but it's also on like pretty much most places that you would listen to podcasts, so you can find it pretty easily. I plug getting your vaccine. I plug taking care of yourself as you get back into normal livelihood.
Do you guys have an Instagram for your podcast?
Yeah, we do. Let me make sure, because I know our Instagram is different than the other one. Yeah, our Instagram is Cutting Chai Pod, at Cutting Chai Pod, and you can also find the form if you have any relationship questions that you need to ask. As you can tell, if you need to know how to steal a woman away from Haran,
God damn it.
I can definitely give that advice on the pod if you ask about it.
Bro, you can't steal away from me if I wasn't in the race, bro.
Hey,
as far as I'm concerned, if you were in the room, you were in the race, bro.
Facts.
But yeah, check it out, and thanks for having me. I'm glad I was on. Love the pod.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
we
buddy.
Definitely
Thanks.
Well, we'll include, in case you're illiterate, you know, we'll include Kunal's.
That's unnecessary.
We'll include Kunal's pod in the description of our Instagram post, so you can just click on it.
What's our Instagram, Christian?
Oh, funny you should ask. Harsha knows.
All right. This is episode 55. You should probably know this by now. It's fucking okay. At an interesting discussion. Okay, go hit the fucking follow button. Go like our last 5 posts. Comment on that shit. Okay. And listen to our fucking episodes now.
Dude, that's my
guy.
bipolar description,
That's
bro.
my
You want to be like super confident to like shy for a second and then back to like super
he was
aggressive.
on it.
I love that.
You know, that's the energy we have. And, you know, those are the things you love to see and love to hear. So, absolutely. Thanks, Kunal, for coming on again. Thanks for everybody for listening. Thanks, everybody, for all the support. And we'll catch you guys next week. All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Peace.